With Remembrance Day upon us, we're reflecting not only on the bravery and sacrifices of those who served our country, but also on the ongoing struggles many veterans face long after they leave the battlefield. Chronic pain, mental health challenges, and the difficulties of reintegration into civilian life are realities that too often go unseen. Joining us now to discuss these issues and the work being done to support our veterans is Dr. Ramesh Zacharias, President, CEO, and Medical Director of the Chronic Pain Center of Excellence for Canadian Veterans. Dr. Zacharias, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you for having me join you today.
Now, let's start with what exactly the Chronic Pain Center of Excellence for Veterans is and why you and your team decided to provide this support.
So it was in the early 2000s that Veterans Affairs Canada and the Canadian Armed Forces made a decision to set up three research centers. The first one was at Queen's University called the Canadian Institute for Military Veteran Health Research. That was in 2010. And then in 2018, they set up one for mental health at the Royal Ottawa Hospital. And then the third center they set up was the one where I'm the CEO, president, and medical director of the Chronic Pain Center of Excellence. The reason they did that is that they've come to realize that the Canadian population, where 20% of the people have chronic pain, male veterans have 40% of them have chronic pain, and sadly, female veterans are 50% when they leave the military. So one in two women who sign up to the Canadian Armed Forces will ultimately leave suffering from chronic pain and mental health issues.
Now, your center was founded to research and support veterans living with chronic pain, as you've just highlighted. Why is this work especially important in the context of Remembrance Day?
I think most people who enlist in the military do so from a perspective of service. They want to serve the country. And sadly, because of their work, they end up having challenges, both physically and what they're exposed to results in mental health issues as well for them. And so our whole research is focused on helping not just the chronic pain, but the mental health issues as they reintegrate back into society. It affects not only the member who's served, but also their families as well. So our whole focus of research is to improve the well-being of male and female veterans as well as their families.
And what unique challenges do veterans and their families face when it comes to chronic pain and mental health issues? And how does your organization help address that for them and properly deal with it?
I think one of the things people have to realize, because I have a practice that looks after civilians as well as veterans, is that pain is never the issue of just the individual. It impacts a family. And it's never only pain. Most of them have mental health issues such as depression, sleep disorders, PTSD. And so, in trying to address pain issues, you must have to address those mental health issues as well. I often say pain and mental health issues are two sides of the exact same coin.
And what should Canadians do in their communities to support veterans living with chronic pain and mental health?
I think first and foremost, recognize that the veterans actually exist. A number of people in Canada have neighbors who are veterans who served, but they're not even aware of their service. And then thank them for the fact that we live in relative peace and security because they have gone overseas to take the fight. And then understand that anything they can do to support them to transition out of a closed system in the military where all healthcare is provided for them, everything is taken care of, and then they end up in the public system, often y- uh, miles away from where they were serving, and they now need to find health services. And a number of them don't have family doctors. While it's a problem for civilians, it's a much bigger problem for veterans trying to find primary care in their communities.
And how does this organization collaborate with other veteran organizations or healthcare providers? I mean, you've talked about doctors' shortages, but what does your organization do to push veterans to get help?
So, what we try to do is because our focus is chronic pain, So whenever a veteran reaches out to our organization, even though we don't do care, we're a research organization. We will give them 30 minutes, find out where they are, try to connect them to local resources. Care closer to home is what they need. And we will then try to connect them possibly to primary care providers, if not to pain clinics, so they can help them. And in some cases, to mental health support services within their community.
Well, Dr. Zacharias, thank you so much for the time today, and thank you to you and your team for the help that you provide veterans.
I want to thank you for highlighting the need for veterans. You're doing a big service by even doing this particular interview so Canadians would know better how to look after the veterans in their community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.